Welcome to Family Time. My name is Naoto. I'm Shin. We're brothers, just so you know. In today's video, we want to talk about Kiyonosuke Kameda versus Alan Picasso and Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Thank you for watching.
There were quite a lot of matches, but today is crazy. And these are matches I'm really interested in. I'm a huge fan of Juan Rodriguez, and there's also a match with Alexander Usyk. It's not boxing, but in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, my favorite Dustin Poirier had his retirement match.
Yeah, he's a legend. Well, I also really like his opponent, Holloway.
I really like Holloway too. There are so many fighters. How do martial arts fans even keep up?
Today, I've been watching the screen all day long.
But it's all happening at the same time. I'll watch one live.
What should I do? They're all happening at once.
Someone like BMB will definitely watch all the boxing matches. He'll probably line up 3 screens: his phone, MacBook, and iPad. If he has 2 phones, he'll use both like this.
Yeah, but even so, you can't watch everything at once, right?
They're doing something with split screen. But data, well, I say data, but you know, do they even have a brain? I don't know. I don't know how it's being processed, but can we process things at the same time? Like, I'm not a dragonfly, so I don't know. But chameleons can do 2 things at once, right? Like this simultaneously. Humans have 2 eyes too, so we can see with both. We can't process 2 sets of data at the same time. That is impossible. One of them always loses focus.
It's probably the same for dragonflies and horses too, right? I wonder. I'm not sure, but BMB's son... I'm sure he watched everything, so which one did he watch live?
So I'm sure he watched both. All of them.
That's amazing. If it were me, I'd be number 1. I watch the ones I'm looking forward to live, and the rest I just catch up on later.
That way is more effective, or rather, more efficient. Well, in terms of quality, you can enjoy it more.
I'm the type who focuses on one thing at a time, you know? I'm devoted. It's the same with women, right? 1 at a time. Some people can handle a lot, though.
I see. So you're saying you can't handle 2 at the same time, but if you separate them by days, you can. You can't see them at the same time, but what are we even talking about? Oh, it's because there were a lot of matches, so it's the same with videos. Rather than splitting them up one by one, let's just put them all together into one.
Are we gonna do all boxing today? Pretty much all the matches?
First is Kyounosuke and Picasso. Kyounosuke, the Japanese hero, even competed overseas as the away fighter.
That's not really the vibe, is it? Kyounosuke isn't really like that, right?
Yeah, after the match, people called him an underdog on Twitter. He was like, it's fine if people say I was an underdog or whatever. It's understandable that they'd say that. Go ahead and say it if you want. He tweeted that, and everyone just went ahead and wrote whatever they wanted without holding back. Well, but you know, Picasso is still something else. He really just beats up Kiyonosuke one-sidedly, knocked him out, and hyped up the match with Naoya Inoue. That was the kind of match it was supposed to be, but it didn't really work out.
Yeah, that's right. Was it that Kiyonosuke did a good job, or that Alan Picasso just didn't do that well?
It's more like we just confirmed what we already expected before the match anyway.
But I remember that when the fight with Cardenas was decided, Naoya Inoue said that Picasso was stronger than Cardenas.
I thought so too. I thought Picasso would be more interesting. That's what I thought, so in the end you never really know. I expected Naoya Inoue to easily defeat Cardenas in a one-sided fight within 3 rounds. I think it'll go into the middle rounds. That's what I was predicting. Most people and the experts, they thought he'd get a knockout early on, but he was actually tougher than we expected. He suddenly got a lot stronger, and he leveled up so much that it made us start to wonder about all sorts of suspicions. Maybe Picasso started eating a lot of Mexican beef from here on out. If he joined Canelo's team, just being part of Canelo's team is already a big deal. You can pretty much imagine it. He'll get really strong if he joined Canelo's team. Japanese boxing fans will likely call for stricter doping tests.
Well, of course, but he's still on Nelly's team, right?
They're not on the same team, but they have the same promoter, so they're not training partners or anything. But going back to what we were talking about, that's why I know Picasso might sound really strong. Also, the weight class was again was a featherweight. I remember it wasn't super bantamweight. Even though Picasso's pretty big for a super bantamweight, he's not really a featherweight boxer, right? Suddenly, he's fighting one weight class above. There's a size or thickness difference, at least in the upper body. It's hard to say about the lower body since I couldn't see it, but I think there was a bit of a difference there too. And also the power of each punch, the quality and weight. As expected, Kiyonosuke may not be a hard puncher. Picasso isn't a hard puncher either. Picasso landed some pretty good shots, but he couldn't really deal much damage. There was also a weight class difference, and that Kiyonosuke actually did better than everyone expected. He exceeded expectations there. Maybe Picasso wasn't in top form either, I don't know. Anyway, if you say that fight was supposed to hype up the Inoue-Naoya match, it was a big failure in that sense.
Before the match, you were really wondering why this fight was even arranged.
Yeah, I mean, it was strange. It turned out exactly like that, just as you said. It was a fight that didn't really matter whether it happened or not. Picasso's promoter did some research and thought that if Picasso knocked out this Japanese guy, Kyounosuke, he'd gain Japanese fans. So they set up the match, but the plan didn't work out. It actually had the opposite effect. That's pretty much what happened. I don't think Picasso is a bad boxer, though.
I thought the same thing about the match. When Kiyonosuke went garage punches, he got hit by counters. When Kiyonosuke tried to counter, Kiyonosuke up.
He's a stable boxer like Nelly. He doesn't go all out aggressively or throw heavy punches. I thought from the start it would be tough for him to knock out Kyounosuke. His knockout rate is probably only about half, right? That's why. He's not really a knockout monster to begin with. Kiyonosuke doesn't really fight rough, right? If anything, he's a pretty stable boxer, so I thought it would be a bit difficult for him to knock someone out, especially since he's fighting in a higher weight class. In terms of excitement, it was a bit disappointing.
They need to pick a weaker Japanese opponent, and it should be a pretty close match too.
The score was 2, and with one judge calling it a draw. People said it was close, but one more draw vote would have resulted in a draw. A draw is the worst outcome, and 2-0 is also bad.
Kiyonosuke really did his best. He did great. I think Kiyonosuke definitely has some special skills that's making people irritated. Special skills. He definitely has something, just a little something. I was watching, wondering what would happen if Kyounosuke wins this, but honestly, it's irritating. The way he fights, the way he provokes people, it gets on my nerves. Like, this isn't the right time to provoke, is it? Yeah, he does stuff like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe he's got the blood of the Kameda family in him. I don't really know if he has some kind of special genes or anything, though. The DNA that annoys people. It came down from Kameda Papa.
Just imagine it. If you're facing off against that in a fight, you'd really start thinking, what is with this guy, right? Like, what is he even doing?
I'm sorry. Boxing fans might get mad at me, but did Kameda family's mother give birth to all of them?
I don't know. But if they look that much alike, they're probably all the same, right? But Kyounosuke is a cousin. The 3 older ones are the same, right? They look that much alike.
I've never seen Kameda's mom. Wasn't he a single dad? I'm a little curious about what kind of person Kameda's mom is. Sorry. I might be saying something a little rude, though. I'm really sorry. I don't know much about that history. I'm just a boxing amateur. Sorry. It's amazing, isn't it? The comments. To appear on BMB-san's channel. I thought the comments on the video uploaded to BNB-san's channel were amazing. Like, people saying, I don't know anything about boxing. People say this and that about me. They say things like, my energy is low. But honestly, I thought that myself at first. Just making excuses. Next, we are supposed to talk about Pacquiao's fight. When I was filming here with BNB-san during the sparring, I took a knee and got cut here. Can you see it? It's healed better now, but it was split open here. When I laugh, it opens up again. So during the collaboration with BNB-san, I couldn't really move my mouth much. That's why my energy seemed low. I thought about explaining it properly, but then I figured, oh well. So people said things like I seemed really low energy, unmotivated, or that I didn't have any boxing knowledge. That's why.
It was like when you drank water, it just came out like this,
It came out. I was surprised. I've never had it cut here before. Right here. When it cracks here, it's obvious. But when you drink water, the water comes out. It just drips, drip, drip, drip. It's amazing, but it feels weird, doesn't it?
I wonder if it's the same for people who have piercings here.
Yeah, I thought so too. No, because it's a hole. Maybe a little comes out, but when it's cracked, it's really open. So it's a bit different from a piercing. The area is just different. This part is cracked. How are you okay with that? But when my lips actually crack, honestly, I was a bit scared. If it gets to that point, it's definitely dangerous. Since it was down here, the lower part, it was okay. Well, that's what happened. So it's not just boxing fans, but all martial arts fans are like this. They really like to act superior if someone doesn't know something.
Well, that's kind of a typical otaku thing, isn't it? It's not just with boxing, you know? Like with soccer too. I think it's the same with baseball too. Especially in anime and stuff, you often hear things like, you don't even know that? That happens a lot, right? I wonder why that is. Well, what do you think it is? Well, I guess it's kind of an otaku thing. Otaku types really like having a lot of information, right? They love knowledge, so I think a lot of them are really eager to learn.
When they say, you don't even know that? Those fans are actually not as hardcore as you might think. They're hardcore fans, but they haven't been fans for very long. Their time as hardcore fans is short. When it gets to around 10 years, you don't try to show off like BNB-san. It doesn't matter if someone is unaware of such things. On the contrary, the more you do it, the more you realize how little you actually know, right?
That's why teenagers and college students say all sorts of things about how other people live. It's just because they're young.
Yeah, thinking you know everything after all. Somewhere in between? I know it's weird to call it a level, though. As you keep gaining more and more knowledge, you start to realize how little you actually know.
Surprisingly, you put it really simply. How should I put this? For example, even martial arts coaches, surprisingly, the people who say just one thing are actually the ones who know the most. Yeah, that's true. People who talk excessively about everything, a little. It's like they have too much information, or maybe they just haven't been doing that long, but that's also not true.
When it comes to dieting, I feel like there's a bit of a religious aspect to it, you know? Like, some people approach dieting almost like a religion.
You know?
Yeah, there's stuff like that, right? Like, if you eat this, this will happen. But honestly, most people are kind of in the middle. I mean, when I say in the middle, I just mean they haven't been doing this for that long. They haven't really been in this industry for a long time. But for me, I'm just enjoying boxing. I'm not saying I know everything to begin with. Like, talking about boxing. Are there any qualifications or anything? Do I have to get some kind of qualification?
Like a test or something?
Boxing. Does the Japan Boxing Commission have them? But it's interesting how the culture is so different in various ways. For example, I think it was Chihara Jr. He interviews various boxers. Everyone has their own opinions, but I might get in trouble or flamed for saying this, but his interview style, I think it's really boring.
Ah, you said it.
I also have reasons. I want to hear from the athletes. I don't care about Chihara Jr.'s boxing knowledge. I really don't care about stories.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear your knowledge. I want to hear from the fighters. It feels like the talk time is about half and half, or maybe even more. But honestly, I think he talks too much. That's just my personal opinion. But recently I've come to understand that boxing fans actually enjoy that sort of thing.
Well, do they really like it? I'm not sure. I don't really know, because the number of views likely best indicates whether people like something or not, which is probably the fairest answer. When it comes to interviews, I think Kakutu cast is the #1 in the martial arts cast. That's what I think. Honestly, everyone says all kinds of things, but I really like your interview style the most.
Well, I had an interview last week. If it were BMB-san, you know, his boxing knowledge is amazing. I actually think he's better than me. In fact, I appear in videos asking him to teach me boxing, but apparently BMB-san's fans don't really like that. It seems like his fans really like that he's a boxing nerd who knows this and that, and they enjoy that kind of thing. But on our channel, we usually have the same kind of content. It was totally accepted, so I feel like we have more casual fans watching us. BMB-san's channel is pretty hardcore. Well, even if I say hardcore,
Yeah, I don't mean that in a bad way. I actually like nerds. They're really passionate after all.
I like nerds.
Nerds are necessary in the sports industry, but boxing fans are those kinds of boxing nerds who really enjoy watching and having fun with that kind of content. That's what I think. Surprisingly, we have both casual fans and what do you call them? The 1,000 fan type, the long-time fans. Like I mentioned earlier, those people who have been watching martial arts for a long time. And, I think it's content that beginners would probably like.
We got a little off topic there.
It's alright.
Getting back to the topic. If you put Pacquiao and Barrios, Kameda, Kyounosuke, and Picasso together, don't you think they'll get called to Mexico again?
I hope Kameda wins someday, though. Someday.
I thought this time was a bit risky.
It's not so easy to call him over anymore.
Some matches are too tough. I think moving up in weight class from super bantam to featherweight comes with certain risks.
Wasn't it supposed to be that Naoya Inoue would fight Picasso in December? Is that still happening, even after this match?
Because there's no one else. That's just how it is, so it can't be helped.
It's amazing that he's from Mexico. Racism. Wait, maybe that's not it. Yeah, right. Now, that was just a joke.
Can I ignore it? I'll just ignore it. Pacquiao, 46 years old. I thought it was amazing that they went 12 rounds. But first of all, when this match was arranged, Pacquiao had the right to choose, right? He could suddenly decide the world title match. You could say that. That's the kind of position he was in. Among the champions, Barrios may be considered the weakest, but more accurately, he was the one who has the best chance of defeating. Pacquiao's side said, if it's Barrios, you can do it, right? And chose Barrios. Well, the public and we thought, Barrios might be the weakest champion, but still, you're 46 years old, Pacquiao. Well, honestly, even against Barrios Pacquiao, it's probably impossible for you. But in the end, maybe Pacquiao was right. He almost won. That's amazing. So, of course, there's a bit of both. Pacquiao was surprisingly still able to fight, but also Barrios was actually weaker than everyone expected. It even made me wonder if he was holding back. Either he was being considerate, or maybe there was some kind of script to this. Honestly, it really felt like one or the other. When it ended in a draw, I thought, this has to be scripted, right? I mean, it's a crazy thing to say. Match fixing is a big deal. But it was suspicious enough to make you wonder. If one side had won, it would make sense, but a draw is the most suspicious outcome.
It's a bit suspicious, isn't it? By the way, Keith, who fought Pacquiao before, was interviewed directly after the match, and he even showed his bet slip saying, look, I bet too. He bet on a draw.
A draw probably paid about 20 times for this match, right? Usually a draw pays about that much.
That's amazing. Keith really nailed it. That's crazy. Incredible. What he said was, the casino doesn't want Pacquiao to lose, so I chose a draw. That's what he said. So, well, I don't know, yeah.
Interesting. That's actually pretty deep.
What should we think? Judge for yourself. Many say Pacquiao won, but some say a draw would be fair. Pacquiao has many fans, so their opinions may be biased.
Regardless of the draw, I feel it's okay if Barrios loses. It was a match where you have to win overwhelmingly, even if not completely dominating, to win by decision.
It really felt like Barrios didn't fulfill his role in that match.
I'm not sure if he fulfilled his role or not, though.
As a boxer, as a champion, it was terrible.
Barrios was terrible. Like both his fists were injured or something, and it was frustrating to watch. I even subscribed to WoW for this, but felt I should have just watched the highlights. From rounds 1 to 9 or 10, it was frustrating as Barrios wasn't fighting like himself. However, at the end, he finally fought like Barrios, and I thought, this is bad.
Wasn't it more like Pacquiao made him fight that way?
Pacquiao was moving better than he did in the match with Rukia Abo, but still, he's an older Pacquiao now. Well, we already saw that in the fight with Abo.
No, but even if you say he held back, it's still a big risk. I mean, there's a belt on the line.
The reason he tried to touch gloves every time was because he really didn't like those body shots. During the fight, he kept saying, "Hey, that's low." When he took a body shot, he would lift his hip protector. Pacquiao was acting as his own referee, saying, that's low, about the hip protector. Barrios would also stop, but honestly, that's when you should go in and throw punches. Well, there are different ways to think about it, but that's why he kept trying to touch gloves every time, because he really didn't like those body shots. No more glove touching. The corner said that. In that 10th round or so, Barrios went for the body again. Maybe it was a bit borderline, and Pacquiao appealed again, saying it was low, and went to touch gloves with Barrios. Out of habit, he touched gloves, and the moment he did, everyone could see that he realized he had touched gloves. He immediately went back on the attack. He's really serious. It was so obvious that it made me laugh. Right after he touched gloves, he realized he had done it. That's just the way he is.
He's a pure person, isn't he? His personality really shows.
Pacquiao is a veteran, so he probably knew how to take advantage of things like that, right? He's smart, too. So, well, to get back to the topic, if they have a rematch, Barrios will win. Easily, I think. From the start, because he did well in the second half. From the first half, from the very beginning up to the 9th round, I was wondering what he was doing.
After the match, Pacquiao said that he was busy with the elections in the Philippines for 2 months and could only train for 2 months. If he had 4 months or so, he could have gotten into even better shape. And on top of that, this time he was coming back after a 4-year break. He says he can show an even better performance next time, but what do you think? I don't think like that at all. His age unbeatable.
In the first place, I doubt he can perform better than this. In a rematch, Barrios will likely take it seriously. I'm unsure about him fighting someone else, but at his age, can he even handle 4 months of intense training?
Yeah, well, at first I thought 2 months might have been better, you know?
That's a classic veteran thing, isn't it? The training camp gets shorter and shorter.
Yeah, yes.
Because their body can't keep up with such hard training in the first place. That's why, on the contrary, it actually gets shorter. Rather than going hard for 8 weeks, it's going to be just 4 weeks. It gets shortened, that's what everyone does, so 8 weeks would be better, but your body can't handle it. That's what I think, though. Pacquiao might be an exception, I don't know. That's how I feel. What do you think, on the other hand?
I found Pacquiao to be an amazing and incredible person. I don't really follow Barrios the champion much. so I don't really know much about him. Honestly, I was only paying attention to Pacquiao. Still, I find it truly incredible. That's what I thought. At 46 years old, I thought it was amazing to stand in the ring and fight, even though everyone said he couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's how it is. If you only know Pacquiao on one side, Pacquiao is amazing. But when I watch Barrios' previous matches, Barrios, if you know what kind of boxer Barrios is, you're like, what is Barrios doing? Yeah, that's how it is, right? But Barrios is an aggressive fighter, after all. What was he doing? That wasn't like him. Or maybe he liked Pacquiao a little too much. Or maybe he respected him a bit too much. Maybe he didn't want to hurt him. I don't know. I don't know what the promoter told him. Maybe he was told, don't injure him no matter what. It's possible, right? If he gets injured, promotions, commissions, stuff like that, that would be the worst. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but anyway, Barrios didn't put on a good performance. But if he gets a rematch, that's going to be really sweet. He managed to get into a big fight twice. I don't know what's going to happen, but if they do it again, I think Barrios will totally dominate. The younger guy, you know? The draw result and how this fight went, Pacquiao is still amazing, that's for sure. Being able to go 12 rounds at that age is impressive. Barrios is part of the reason for that too, though. It's impressive that he did that. It's just that while it's amazing that Pacquiao even did that fight, I didn't think his movement was all that impressive. It's only impressive considering he's 46, so I can't really get too excited, and it ended in a draw. Well, yeah. So honestly, with how Barrios performed, I wouldn't have minded if Barrios won. But Pacquiao won here. So now, what's next for him? Is he gonna fight someone like Rolando Romero?
Well, if Pacquiao won, there were rumors before the fight that either Gervonta Davis or Floyd Mayweather might come out of retirement. I really don't want to see an accident that's bound to happen with Gervonta Davis. That would be too much. But I think it would be fine if he fought Mayweather. Actually, rather than a rematch, if he fights Mayweather, that would be the biggest fight.
A high-profile pro match. 51-0. There's a chance Mayweather could lose his undefeated status. That would definitely be a really interesting fight. And there's a chance it could happen. Mayweather isn't active anymore, after all.
If it's during Riyadh season, maybe they could make it happen, right? But, you know, Turkey doesn't really seem to like that idea. Mayweather would do it himself, right? He'd promote it on his own. Pacquiao also has his own promotion, so they'd probably cross-promote and do it themselves. I don't think Alal Sheikh is really needed for that. He's more into the very best of boxing. Legendary, older fighters probably wouldn't really do it.
So when the promotions don't match up, Alal Sheikh will step in, pay the money, and make it happen. If Pacquiao and Mayweather both want to do it, since they're both bosses, I think things would move forward just fine. Yeah, I guess that's kind of how it is. Yeah, and then about this Picasso and Kiyonosuke.
Kyounosuke is someone who puts on interesting matches.
I think that's something everyone should acknowledge. Now, those last two matches, but overall, they weren't exactly amazing matches. The match with Pacquiao and Barrios was terrible.
The content of the match was really terrible.
I really like Pacquiao, and I think it's amazing that he fought 12 rounds at 46 years old. But since it's a professional match, it was a bit terrible.
From a boxing perspective, of course. As a person, I think he's amazing.
For example, if Barrios fought like he always does, going all out, and Pacquiao managed to get a draw, then I would have thought he was amazing. But since that wasn't the case, my perception has changed.
For example, at an elementary school sports day, all the kids are doing their best and running, right? And, like, if a parent picks up a kid who's a bit slow and carries them to the front, then puts them down and says they crossed the finish line, you can't really say that's amazing, right? That's what it feels like. So Barrios wasn't really at his best. It's more like Pacquiao managed to get a draw. And yeah, that's impressive, but I kind of saw some things that didn't quite add up. I could clearly see that Barrios wasn't at his best. So I can't really say Pacquiao was amazing because of that. If Pacquiao had managed a draw against the best Barrios, then I'd be like, oh, wow, that's really something. You get what I mean? It's like when you help a kid and then say, wow, you did great, you worked hard, but you can't really say that, right?
If he managed to achieve it on his own, I'd say, wow, that's truly impressive. No matter the result, if you really give it your all, that's great. You get what I mean, right?
That's how I feel about it.
But still, it feels fair, you know? That's how sports should be, after all.
But if you only cheer for one side, like Naoto who only cheers for Pacquiao.
I totally get ending it on a high note, being amazed there. It's not just about cheering, watching the match. You realize Pacquiao is an incredible person. I think he's amazing too. I mean, he's 46 years old.
Looking at it from a sports perspective, people say Barrios was holding back or that it wasn't a fair match in a different sense. Like it wasn't the real kill or be killed mode Barrios out there. It wasn't really fair. That means it wasn't fair. I think that's true. But I also thought Pacquiao is really amazing in how much people love him. Normally, you know, normally people would naturally say something like, old man, it's time for you to step back. But still, there are still people who really love Pacquiao, so I realized he's an amazing person. As a boxer, I haven't really seen great performances from him lately, and I think it's because he's getting older.
Yeah, I think that's the best Pacquiao can do. I don't think he can do any better than that. Even if his training camp was longer, I doubt it would change. There have been fights where he wasn't in good shape and couldn't put on a good performance and ended up losing in an upset.
You could say it wasn't the best Barrios, but at the same time, that could just sound like an excuse. But Pacquiao's movements weren't all that amazing either. It's impressive for a 46-year-old, though.
Other than Barrios.
When it comes to whether he can beat the other champions, it feels a bit different. After all, it's a world title match, so you really have to be on point.
Like exhibitions.
It's not an entertainment match or an exhibition. It's a real world title fight, so you want to see athletes at a world-class level. It's not just about being impressive at 46. If he wins, that's a different story.
Just the fact that he was able to win, that's amazing.
That's all I can say. But it was a draw.
Well, I think Shin's perspective is definitely the fairer one as a sport. So, what's next? Personally, I think Mayweather would be the best. I feel like that would be the most exciting matchup. It just seems like the best fitting and fair match.
That's about it. Please share your opinions in the comments. Thanks.
Also, Pacquiao is definitely taking multivitamins and protein supplements properly.
Absolutely no doubt about it.
After all, if you don't live like an athlete, it's impossible at that age. But everyone thinks it would be great to be able to move like that at 46. Well, it's obviously impossible to get that far since most people haven't been training for years. But it's better to get as close to that as possible, right? So it's about managing your body from now on. Health. It's important to live as healthy a lifestyle as possible. That's where most people fail, especially beginners.
It's about choosing between a healthy lifestyle or an unhealthy lifestyle.
They feel like if they can't live a 100% healthy lifestyle, they just give up on everything. And that's really not good. It's not about getting all or nothing. So it's not just here or there. That's why some people end up drinking alcohol and smoking all the time. Even if you can only exercise 3 times a week, that's better than not exercising at all. It's better to do a little exercise. So even if you're not too careful about your diet, it's important to get enough protein. Make sure you get enough protein. Take multivitamins every day. Take them. That's all you need. Just that. You're taking a step toward a healthier life. That's why. It's not all or nothing. That's where I think most people end up giving up.
Maybe everyone just sets their expectations too high.
We see muscular people on social media. It's easy to think there's no point in going at all if you can't become like that or go every day. But that's not really true, is it? Really, doing as much as you can is the best. Or rather, just doing what you can is good. Doing as much as you can keep up with. But normally, In the morning, like you just put some protein in, mix it up, and drink it after your meal. Anyone can do that. It's not as hard as going to the gym.
So if you ask me whether drinking a cup of protein and a multivitamin will change your body or not, well, I'd say it probably won't. But just doing those things shifts your mindset a little, you know? Your awareness starts to move in a slightly healthier direction, toward a healthier lifestyle.
Just by taking that one step toward living a healthier life, it leads to the next step. So just by doing it, you're definitely moving in a better direction.
And that's how it feels. So at first, just try drinking protein every day. Starting from there is really what I recommend.
It's impossible to suddenly start living a healthy lifestyle from zero. So for now, if you're starting from nothing, just buy some protein and get some multivitamins too.
Just try to take those every day.
It's time for the crazy corner I love the most. Go, crazy corner, Alexandre. It's not Alexandre, right? It's not A. It's U. Usyk. It's hard, isn't it? It's O. It's O. It's Alexander Usyk. He won by knockout, right? That's amazing.
Undisputed cruiserweight world champion. Undisputed heavyweight world champion ×2. Daniel Dubois. I always have trouble saying this name. Daniel Dubois. I'm probably saying it wrong too. Yeah, the pronunciation is difficult, isn't it?
Well, beating those 3 strong world champions twice each, there's no doubt he's the strongest in the world. The low blow to the belt line greatly impacted him. He appealed for a low blow foul, claiming it cost him the victory.
Daniel.
Dubois,
This time he knocked him out one-sidedly. That's amazing.
And on top of that, Daniel beat Anson Josh to get to this match. That's how he made it here. He's the strongest, the most amazing.
He's not just a strong champion, but a strong boxer. Usyk is just too strong. He's a monster.
well, it's like, what is he gonna do next?
Well, I wonder what he'll do. But he's already accomplished so much. For Naoya Inoue to regain pound-for-pound status, he must achieve something truly remarkable.
He'd have to move up to featherweight, right? That's what it would take to surpass what Usyk has accomplished. It's amazing, truly incredible.
And my favorite, Bam Rodriguez beat Quadras, right? So he'll probably fight Martinez next in November. That's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Rodriguez is going to pull it off. He's like Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko with punching power.
The way he gets those KOs is just insane. It's beautiful, isn't it?
In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before he moves up to bantamweight. I mean, I've been saying for quite a while that I'll dominate bantamweight.
No one has said, no, that's not true.
There's Seiya, Riku Masuda, Yoshikitake, Tenshin Nasukawa, and Takuma Inoue, right? Every fight with them would be interesting. It's hard to imagine being able to win, right? That's why he'll fight Martinez and move up.
I want him to wait a little longer. Isn't Bantam class really great right now? It's not just that this situation is good, it's more like, I wonder what's gonna happen here right now. I kind of don't want him to come to Bantam until things settle down a bit. That's kind of how I feel, but that's just my personal opinion.
I like Bantam. I think it's fine to have really strong foreigners around.
That's true.
But isn't he a bit too strong? I mean, if that really strong foreigner is too strong, that could be a problem too, right?
If someone could beat Martinez, for example, with that kind of physical strength and aggressiveness, then even someone like Tsutsumi would have a tough time.
He'll probably move up a weight class, but since Bam isn't a small guy, if he adjusts properly. That's why I want to think about things after watching the Martinez fight. If he can control Martinez without any problems and wear him down for a knockout or something like that.
I'm sorry, everyone. I really end up apologizing to all of you. His strength is unmatched, making it natural for him to become the pound-for-pound #1. This could be why Tsuboi and others are moving to super flyweight, though the timing might be off. I think it'll probably end up with Tsuboi going after the belt that was vacated. That's actually pretty interesting, too. And now, Usyk and Jake Paul are about to face off.
Jake Paul is actually pretty big, huh?
Because he's fighting in the cruiserweight division, his head is big, too. Usyk looks small in comparison. And also, if he shaved that beard, I wonder how much of his chin would actually show.
Yeah, that's true. But it's really impressive that Usyk is fighting in the heavyweight division.
Well, I don't really know what this is, though.
Jake Paul tweeted that he respects someone as a boxer and wants to fight them in mixed martial arts, but the context is unclear.
He's never even done mixed martial arts before.
Yeah, exactly. What an idiot. It's just way too ridiculous.
But even if they both trained mixed martial arts for 2 months and fought, Usyk would win. No doubt about it, he'd win. They're just too different as athletes. Jake Paul's doing a good job. He really does well. Maybe he could even do it in boxing.
I'm sure Usyk appreciates it too.
Yeah, that's true. Jake Paul is teamed up with Alal Sheikh after all. I think he probably likes it.
Even though Alal Sheikh said so many times that he doesn't like those kinds of entertainment matches.
Jake Paul receives significant hate due to his fame. However, when comparing his first 10 fights to those of other legendary boxers, his performance is not vastly different. It's just that Jake Paul gets a lot of attention. The only difference is that he's making a ton of money. But if you say he's just fighting tomato cans, the opponents Jake Paul has fought might actually be tougher compared to other boxers. So in terms of matchups, it's not really a problem. People don't like him because he's loud and annoying. It's a problem. Just picking up the pace like this, what's the point? It's a bit weird, right? Saying things like, I can definitely win. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Entertainment. I'm the opposite, you know. He's acting as a pro boxer, but it's completely an entertainment show. Well, it's not exactly right to say he's not a pro boxer, but it's a bit different. It's a bit of a different category, you know? He's a professional boxer, but still, that makes me think that Alal Sheikh is probably just into money. In the end, I guess. Today, there was a scene in the match where he hits himself, and I thought that was interesting too.
I saw that too. Wow.
Taizuru Puari once did the same thing. Pop, pop. It's embarrassing, right? Doing a solo uppercut in front of thousands.
You kind of feel like you messed up a little, don't you?
Canelo Crawford. Well, you know, they said 85% of tickets sold out on the first day.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder how big of an event this will be. This is a big fight, isn't it?
But if Pacquiao and Mayweather fought, wouldn't that surpass this? It would surpass it, definitely surpass it.
That's true. 50-0 is really easy to promote. Or 51-0. It would be 51-0. Just the possibility that Mayweather's professional record might get a loss would make it a huge event.
He's done that for 50 fights straight, just one more fight to go. This time he might actually get one.
It just shows how incredible all the experience he's built up is. I mean, his whole career has relied on that. We always thinks he might lose, and that's how he's made it this far. So, I think he can use that one more time.
And on top of that, it's a rematch with Pacquiao. Those two have a real history. They really seem to hate each other. Yeah, it does look like they don't get along at all. They're completely different types of champions, personality-wise. You know, Pacquiao is the kind of guy who fights fierce battles and is loved by the people. You could even say his boxing style is all about trading punches. And Mayweather, he's kind of the villain, right? Even if people hate him, he still says, I'm going to win. That's the kind of champion he is.
Yeah, that's right. I like Pacquiao, but I also like Mayweather. When I say I like them, I mean as boxers.
It's not like I'd ever do business with them, but probably when it comes to business, he's the worst. That's what people often say, right? I don't know, since it's just stuff from the internet, but people who do business with Mayweather say he's a real nightmare. When it comes to money, he seems really nitpicky. Maybe that's the kind of attitude that makes him win. I guess he's just a persistent guy.
When you watch boxing, you can tell he's a persistent guy.
That's the impression I get. And Yozawa,
He won his second match. He got a knockdown in the second round like this. He hurt him with calf kicks and then got a knockdown with punches, but there was a dangerous moment in the third round. So even when fighting strong opponents, he ends up winning one-sidedly like this.
this time, there was a dangerous moment in the third round as I guess the punch might have landed. That's expected when fighting strong champions. The fact that he's beating them like this is amazing.
Next isn't he going to fight Haguri or someone like that next?
No way, that would be interesting. After all, one is really hyping up kickboxing, including Japanese kickboxing.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Haguri is interesting too, and Noiji is really amazing right now as well.
One is great. I kind of want them to get into kickboxing a bit more. What's this?
I found this recently. It's the view count for K1 videos. These are the popular videos. There are a lot of women's fights, but maybe it's better to look at the previous image first. There are two images. This one has Champion Kaneko and Leona Pettas. The views are around 50 or 60,000, at most about 80,000. Asahisa is here too, and this one has about 270,000 views.
130,000, 530,000, 2,180,000. That's Kimura, right? She was dating that person, wasn't she?
That's Koda, the disciple of Kizemon. That was unexpected.
This is kind of... K1 is already seen mainly as a women's fight event. When you look at this, you can pretty much tell what kind of people are watching and for what purpose.
Well, but this Kimura is kind of going viral overseas too, so foreign commentators are like, did you see this girl in English saying, isn't she amazing?
With such a unique fighting style, you don't really see that very often.
I'm not really a fan of that kind of style. I actually kind of dislike it.
I apologize to Koda-kun, but I hope someone defeats her. I simply dislike her fighting style. The one that keeps twisting around with legs. They're persistent. I mean, it's effective, so it's fine, but still, it's just kind of annoying.
I think it's cowardly and I don't like it.
I get it, like hopping on one foot. Going like, and doing that.
Well, that's how she's been winning. But I did watch that left straight, you know, the match. The left straight and all, it really lands with a thud, so it just can't get in.
She has a good set of tools, a good fighting style. She really makes the most of that fighting style. I don't really know the level of female fighters in K1, so I can't say if she can make it or not. I don't know who's who. But from K1's perspective, they definitely want her to become champion. With the belt. At this rate, all the strong male K1 fighters might go to 1, 2. They should do something like Deep Jewels, an all-female fighting event. K1 could be more like an idol scene.
But on the other hand, if it's not about martial arts and it's just about attention and events or just chasing numbers, then that's how it is, even if they're not strong at all, as long as they're somewhat cute.
On the other hand, the strong ones aren't accepted, and it's just about matching fights based on looks. That's what I'm saying.
It's like idols are fighting. If it's an organization where idols are doing kickboxing, then yeah, that's possible. But on the other hand, if there are strong fighters, they can't do that. So it's like, yeah, sorry, we don't accept strong fighters here.
But if K1 does that, honestly, with K1's history, it would be kind of sad to think of that.
If it turns into something like a women's fight club K1, you know, that's a bit much.
Well, but honestly, there probably aren't that many strong women in K1 to begin with.
Well, yeah, but it's not impossible, right? If you gather cute female fighters from all over the world, from other countries. A beautiful Brazilian woman versus a beautiful Japanese woman.
Yeah, that's right. I don't really know why, but it's the martial arts fans who are watching. Actually, nobody really wants to see cute girls fighting each other. But the fact that they're fighting, it's more like you watch a sport because there are cute girls in it, right?
But the cute ones are always more popular, no matter what. That's just how it is. It's the same with guys too. The better looking ones, their faces, the more handsome or good looking ones become more popular. Well, that's obvious, right? But if that were true for everyone, wouldn't the event become popular?
I see. Well, I really wonder. I know it sounds bad to say this, but if you look closely at martial arts, fighters can be beautiful if you look closely at their faces. There are actually a lot of cases where they're not that cute. Is this okay to say? I haven't mentioned anyone specific though, but it happens quite a lot, right?
So they're not supermodels or anything.
So it's more like they're cute as fighters. So if everyone was actually beautiful, would that mean no one is beautiful? Do you get what I'm saying? Because everyone would end up being the same. So they're actually pretty cute and popular. If you put female fighters who are considered cute or beautiful into the regular world, you'd think, yeah, they're cute, but you wouldn't really get why they're so popular. It's because they're doing martial arts that makes them seem amazing. That's why. If everyone was a cute fighter, then no one would really become popular.
Well, this is what I think. You can't really have an exceptionally beautiful, like a beautiful fighter who stands out from the rest. For example, if K1 were to go in that direction, people would say that everyone in K1 is pretty. If you say it's an event where beautiful fighters compete, people would look at that organization thinking about which one is cuter, becoming something to anticipate.
That might work. I see. So instead of asking who's the strongest in the world, it's more like who's the most beautiful in the world.
But in the end, it's still martial arts. I think that's what's really interesting about martial arts. Like, and after all, the top of the world, the top martial artists are all about strength. Being number one in strength, like Naoya Inoue. Usyk, that's really what it comes down to. But somehow, unlike soccer or basketball, you can do all kinds of martial arts besides just the world's top level. Like, there are events with only beautiful female fighters. If you set a category like that, then you can see who is the strongest within that group. For example, with Jake Paul, it's like YouTubers fighting each other. Martial arts allow for unique matches between similar opponents, which is not always possible in other sports. If the strongest guy joins the pros, that alone becomes a big topic. And I thought martial arts is a unique sport because it can create all these different worlds. There's something interesting about all of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Risen is kind of like that too, right? They include those kinds of matches as well.
Risen is a gathering of outstanding people from various places. While not explicitly a cheat organization, it operates in a gray area. That's really great, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of all mixed up, that's for sure. But I guess that's actually effective. So maybe K1 could do something like that too? I don't know though.
When you see this, you think this fighter is really good.
That's how you feel. K1 is K1, you know. This soccer boxing, soccer martial arts.
I don't know which country this is from, but it's crazy. I wonder what the rules are for this.
There aren't any. I mean, you can just fight, even if you don't have the ball. Just the ball.
Yes, just a ball. Like, it's faster to just throw punches than try to take the ball. This has to be Russia, right? I have no idea.
It's obvious that these people have no martial arts experience. It's just way too ridiculous. Alright, let's wrap it up here. Conor McGregor incident, or rather, the leak. Well, it's not really a leak since he did it himself.
He did it himself? I don't really know the details of this story. I'm not really into watching this kind of stuff, but, well, you know, the only thing I know is that McGregor's nudes are circulating.
He sent them himself, and the girl he sent them to leaked them on X.
Then it's a leak, right?
Is it really a leak? He sent them himself, so it's not a leak, right? But it was supposed to private, right? It's just that the person who received it shared what was sent to her.
Well, can you really call it a leak once it's been sent? It's not like someone secretly took those photos. It's not like someone else took nude photos and released them.
Is it a leak? Can you really call it a leak? I'm not so sure, because he sent it himself, and even sent a message saying, don't be a rat because all rats get caught.
She did this herself, like she was working out or something.
I haven't seen this photo though. But I can read the reaction to the photo. And apparently McGregor is big in a lot of ways, right? That's the only thing I know for sure.
Like his weight, and you know, he's doing weight training and doing all sorts of crazy things that make the news, but I'm like, what is this? Why did he do this? I'm actually really curious about that.
So, it's not like McGregor himself put it out there, it's just that they released it over there. It's not that McGregor released it himself.
No, that's why I'm asking. Why did he even send it? Like, what is this? The photo of him working out?
He's tying weights and taking pictures to send. I don't understand what he's thinking. That's the part that really confuses me.
Hey, I don't get it, but you know, when it's a woman, she might send nudes to a guy. It's kind of like that, you know what I mean? I can understand trying to appeal like that, but you don't really see guys doing that very often.
It's not a regular nude. It's like they're showing off while working out, lifting heavy weights or something. What's the point of that?
I don't get it. I don't understand the world of McGregor.
Other incidents, like when you're drinking at a bar and the guy next to you starts saying stuff that annoys you, so you hit him, that you can understand. But this? What is this? Seriously, what is this? It's unbelievable.
I'm from this side like that. Yo, I live in a different world from McGregor. Well, it's definitely not normal.
It's obvious that something's wrong with him.
He has 3 kids, so I'm curious about how his kids react. It's interesting. I'm sure they will get teased. No, his kids don't go to regular school. They go to private school. Apparently, they go there.
And I guess they're not being bullied. It's more likely others act submissively around them. Do you think they are? That's definitely the case.
McGregor's kid. I saw his junk. He's definitely going to get teased for that.
That's not it. Everyone just acts submissive.
They try to get friendly and ask to be taken on the yacht, right?
Is it already at that level? But at the school where McGregor's kids go, all the other kids are from families at the same financial level as McGregor, right?
Do elite students like McGregor attend regular schools, or do they have to do it at home? It's unclear if they go to school at all. Bullying seems unlikely in their case.
Well, it's because their father is so great, right? That's why you can't help but wonder what's really going on. It's kind of hard to know how to react.
It's hard to react.
But still, I just think it's a dirty world. I mean, really. This other person probably put it out as some kind of revenge or something, right?
I mean, it's not even about revenge. It says, don't be a rat, meaning don't show this to anyone, right?
He told her not to show it, but if you send it anyway, well, that's just... People are going to think, are you stupid or what?
But are you still gonna show it?
I'm going to show it. Why not? Why are you sending it? I don't know what relationship they have, so I can't really say anything about that. But if you're already sending it, then you can do whatever you want, right? That would be sexual harassment.
Well, I don't know. Their relationship, maybe she asked him to send it and he did. We don't really know, do we? But, you know, the person you sometimes talk to, should I just call them an acquaintance? I just think that spreading nude photos of an acquaintance online is, well, kind of disgusting. Sending them is gross too, but blasting them out to the world like that, I think that's also just wrong.
Well, if he hadn't sent them, there wouldn't be anything to show in the first place.
If you ask who's at fault, it's McGregor. Of course it's him. McGregor definitely messed up. Obviously, he shouldn't have sent nude photos in the first place, but spreading them all over the internet also leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
But you said it yourself, didn't you? You said we don't even know what this is. McGregor might be completely at fault here.
So like, it's kind of, I dislike watching this. It makes me feel somewhat sick.
I just think it's interesting. I don't really think about it that deeply. What I'm most curious about is why he sent it. And also, why was it a photo of him working out? That's what it comes down to, right? Well, yeah. Toria is also, you know, it's something like this after all. Actually, stretch it out.
I see, it makes your dick bigger.
It doesn't really get longer, does it? Even if it stretches, it's not by much.
But you know, I heard it on a podcast. I don't know if it's reliable or not. But apparently, in Africa, there's an artist who lived with that tribe. His name is David Cho. That person, he was like, why does everyone here have such big dicks? They said, yeah, we are not really that special. It's just that you guys don't get bigger because you're wearing underwear.
Because you're lifting them up.
We've been hanging loose since we were born. That's why, due to gravity, they just keep getting longer and longer. At least that's what the African tribes said. But you know, those breasts, the mothers there, their breasts hang way down like this, right? Because they don't wear bras. The weight of breasts and that of the penis is different, but they still sag, right? They get longer, like stretching out. So doesn't that mean there's something to it?
So, if your hair was really long your whole life, would your neck end up like this? It wouldn't, right? If it was big to begin with, there's a chance it could stretch even more. But if it wasn't big in the first place, even with the weight, it's the same with stories about mom's breasts.
If it was small to begin with, the limit to how much it can stretch might be less. But still, it's just kind of, you know,
It's not just hanging there, they're running with it. They jump and do all sorts of things.
I see. I hadn't thought about those kinds of movements either, so there are things like this too. For example, McGregor ties dumbbells and does things like this. If McGregor does it, maybe it'll work well. I don't know though. They say McGregor has actually been doing it for over 10 years.
But do you really care about that?
Size? Do you care about that? There's nothing you can do about it.
some people who work out care about having bigger muscles, so products and services catering to this desire exist.
Well, all guys care about it, right? But do women care about it too?
Of course they care about it.
But being too big is also a problem.
But actually, that problem is pretty rare. On the other hand, being too small can also be an issue, right?
So, which would you prefer? Too small or too big, if you had to choose one?
Me? I'd choose too big.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But still, you know.
I'd definitely choose too big.
If it's too small, people will make fun of you. If it's too big, it's just too big.
Huh? But you can't really have normal sex like that.
Are you sure you should be saying that?
It's fine. Besides, you just have to find a girl who's okay with it. The conversation took a weird turn, though.
I wasn't aware of McGregor's actions, as I haven't seen the pictures.
Oh, is that what you mean? That's why he's working out?
Oh, I see. That's what you mean. All things considered, McGregor is a pervert.
Yeah, send that. Well, it's kind of funny, isn't it?
What? Are you thinking about something? He's not thinking about anything. He's not thinking about anything.
She probably got pissed off and showed the photo, you know, from the girl's side. Like, why is he sending me this? Of course, you'd normally get mad. Well, I don't really know, but, well, McGregor is a legend forever. That's how I feel. I want to hear your opinions too, so please leave a comment.
Are you going to buy a penis stretcher? McGregor recommends it.
Yeah, that's right. Are you using it or not? Is it effective? Please let me know. Please send me a photo. What episode is this, seriously? So hurry up and wrap it up.
It's because you started talking about weird stuff. Seriously, everyone, please leave your opinions in the comments section and smash that subscribe button. And smash that like button too. See you again. Bye-bye.